Hello there everyone, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, casuals and pros. We welcome you to the glorious BattlefieldOne Podcast. Episode 4. Is it episode 4? Yeah, episode 4. For our regular listeners, welcome back. And for our new listeners, there's a link in the description. You can actually listen to the audio version of the podcast. Because if you don't have the time to watch the whole video, because, well, it's a whole video. God knows how long we're gonna be talking this time.
Hey, maybe you got stuff to do. Maybe you're at work and you want to just put us in your earlobes and just put us in the phone and chill and walk around and do your work.
Basically,
that's cool. We agree.
So
with
basically, there's an audio link in the description. You can download it. You can listen on your phone, whatever. It's just gonna be a little small file. You can put it anywhere you want, or just listen while you sleep. I don't care. I don't care.
You can put it anywhere you want.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not sorry, and no refunds. Yeah, no refunds. We're not
anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, basically. But anyway, we got some interesting topics to talk in Battlefield, I guess. But before that, I'll let my crew members to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Boss Cyanide. I'm this annoying voice who's going to be smoking on a lot of things during this podcast. You're going to have to just deal with that.
And everyone else?
Hey, it's Fangy.
Just Fangy.
Just Fangy.
Yeah, hi, I'm the Pronado, and no, it's not related to Pron, or I'm also not a supporter of NATO.
Okay, so that was weird, but whatever. Whatever. Alright, so we got a lot of topics to talk about today. Well, not sure if a lot, but quite interesting to be honest. Quite different from what we had last week. Obviously, we're gonna talk about the summer patch because it's not a long time. It's not a long way to go. A month, maybe. Basically a month, maybe. If you're lucky, maybe 25th of August. If you're lucky, if we're real unlucky, maybe 15th of September. But at this point, there was some updates for the summer patch that we're gonna receive in a couple of weeks. And DICE LA, the first thing they did was they found the NVIDIA driver crash, apparently.
Not really. Just it's a certain card. Like you just have to try. I tried it out, and it still crashed on the newest drivers.
Oh, the newest.
It still keep crashing.
It wasn't. Yeah, it still crashed.
Wait, all of you three have NVIDIA.
Yeah,
Yep.
I have
yeah.
an NVIDIA driver. I haven't. We'll get into the driver crashes as well, but there's another reason why I'm experiencing driver crashes, and like I said, we'll get into that later. But pre my update, I wasn't experiencing any problems with any of the NVIDIA drivers, but I can't speak for any of my other colleagues who are on an older operating system at the time.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't need to upgrade. I mean, update your latest driver on NVIDIA because they are not optimized for the city.
Well, like I said, this
and,
is not.
Depend on the version you have. I never crashed, never, since I got a certain version of the NVIDIA driver.
Well, I never had any driver crashes either. But even when I updated to Windows 10, the current driver that was out previously at the time before the update, I never experienced any crashes on that. But that being said, when I started it with Windows 10, it wouldn't even stay in the OS. The driver would keep crashing, and I'd go back to single display. But then again, I run on multi-displays, so there's another thing that I do differently from everybody else.
I mean,
I'm also using multi-display.
anytime I update my driver, I crash. Like 100% sure, because when they NVIDIA optimize a driver for like Batman Arkham or Witcher, they optimize for this game, and they maybe change something in the code for Battlefield 4, require a certain coding for this specific game. So you don't upgrade if you want to keep playing Battlefield 4, the CD.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I play other games and keep fucking.
Wait, sorry, I drift out. So I don't know. All right. Yeah, I was drift out because on Skype. Anyway, I'm AMD users. Like I never had like that kind of crash. I guess. Well, the crashes you guys have, I'm like, I'm fine. I don't know. Maybe. Well,
do
yeah.
you use more than one monitor?
No. I
Well,
use
then
one.
there's your problem.
Well, I'm sorry that I don't want to have a second mount at least for
Multi-display
now.
master race, bitch.
Anyway,
But AMD is optimized for Battlefield 4, and it's even the sponsor on Battlefield.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe AMD is more friendly with dice. It's maybe a reason.
well, Battlefront is being sponsored by AMD.
Once again, because they have a sponsorship between
Well, it's a hardware
dice
partnership,
and
and
AMD.
it's probably contractual. So I mean, don't think that it's like EA loves Nvidia. It's just Nvidia probably offered them much money for like, hey, slap our logo on your shit and just say that it's optimized for it.
Yeah. But anyway,
No,
so
no.
they're gonna fix like the Nvidia thing, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
they're trying to.
I
at
give it.
least.
I give my hands. I give it to Nvidia. Like they roll out updates relatively quickly, and maybe if those of us who use multi displays scream enough about it, the problems so far with that driver issue will get fixed. But I found a lot of the problems can be curbed by sticking to Windows borderless, but we'll get into that a little bit later again. So moving on.
all right, guys. Before we move on, let me add another podcast member because he just came back because he had a problem with his power.
Who's running late? Squirrel's not.
Yeah, scroll.
Oh, we finally got Squirrel, so now we're a
There you
five-man
go.
squad. There he
Yeah,
is.
so five people in the podcast.
Joining
Yay.
us via a solar powered generator is Dr. Squirrel Boy.
Nuclear Central.
Yeah, finally got his shit together.
Our mad
All right,
scientist.
shut the fuck up, guys. Shut the fuck up. All right, Squirrel, talk.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, we
can
can.
hear you.
Yeah.
We can hear you fine.
Good. I'm glad to see that none of you have gone deaf in the past week.
Well, speak for yourself.
See for life.
Anyways, all right. So we just talked about the Nvidia crash thingy. You saw the patch notes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, we just talked about the Nvidia crash. Well, which makes the CT crash.
And not only the CT. When I updated the driver, I could also crashed on Pearl Market suddenly. Like
All
it
right.
took-
There's always problems with per market. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I never really had problems when I used the driver, which I also have to use for night maps.
Hmm.
So the 347 driver. Like this one runs always nice.
All right, let's move on. I guess. Let's talk about the netcode a little bit.
Oh, the
Uh,
famous netcode.
Yeah, the famous netcode. Oh, glorious netcode. It's magic.
Glorious.
It's magic. No, sorry, it's science now. It's
The
not magic. it's
hills
science.
are alive with
science.
60 hertz servers.
Anyway, so we're not getting the 120 hertz or 60 hertz servers yet in the summer patch, except for the foundations there. But us three, our five, which is Bernato, Vangi, and me, had a chance to play the 30 hertz servers, which is not the 60 hertz, but 30 hertz servers that we're gonna get in the summer patch, and those servers felt like the 60 hertz servers. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They
Well,
did
I
feel
mean,
like 60
when
hertz
they
servers.
say framework, they're probably what they mean is they're like, oh, well, we put a newer batch of processors in, and we put a newer batch of RAM in real quick. That's what they mean by foundations. They figured out what the hardware problems were going to be with the 120 hertz servers when they tested them with it, and now they're like, oh, well, now we've got to update our shit. Now we've got to update this. We got to update that. So this is what it needs to be for 120. So let's make our lives easier and just bring it to here for 60 hertz and just go from there.
Yeah,
That's
but
my assumption.
all I'm just saying, when the patch is gonna hit, when the summer patch is gonna hit retail, people gonna feel that there's a massive difference when it
Yeah,
comes to
and
netcode.
There were also netcode fixes that we had like in the CT for the last 3 months, but they were just not ready for the spring patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
they're always working on the netcode. That's
Yeah.
hmm So, yeah, retail, you guys are gonna have a lot of fun because even it's 30 hertz, it's still gonna work like magic. Well, no, sorry, not magic. Science.
Hey, we're not making any promises, but if
Although,
you're
yeah.
playing on Wi-Fi or something stupid like that, then sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. And that's kind of it. That's what kind of happened in the CT right now. That's kind of it, isn't it? I'm
Yeah.
checking. Yeah.
So far, yeah, pretty much. I mean, there
It
hasn't
wa-
been
it
a
was
whole
a-
lot
it-
going on again.
Yeah, it was a really quiet week.
It's still pretty slow.
It is kind of slow if you ask me.
It's slow now, but
Once,
I mean, if you try to play in a 144 hertz server, that's even magic. It's just chance
you mean
because
120?
no 144 hertz. That's another thing because you got 120 hertz. But ever try when Chris did a match just because of one of a database for the 140 hertz and everything looked promising because
I mean, promising.
yeah, and I mean when not yet try on the CD 144, but what I saw on 120, I look forward for 144 hertz.
Okay, we have to finish with 60 hertz first, then we can actually move on to 120
Yeah, but-
and above.
It's
What
it's
I-
just gonna get smoother.
Yeah, but what I
Yeah,
saw
but the
with,
network demands are going to
Chris-
get higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Talking about the frame rate and all that, people been report that with we played 60 hertz servers. Was it 60? Yeah, was it yesterday? We played 60 hertz, wasn't it? Yesterday was 60 hertz. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Not
they're-
yesterday.
they're-
Was
they're
it not
now-
yesterday?
Yeah,
Not yesterday.
yeah.
but
We are
was it
here.
yesterday?
Right now there are 60 hertz servers.
Yeah, yeah,
at
so,
CD
yeah.
with the latest patch they switched.
Yeah, we played the 60 hertz, and it was only TDM. A lot of people report there was a lot of frame drop.
The map rotations are actually TDM and Conquest Small.
Was it Conquest Mall?
Yeah.
Anyway, but
Yeah.
but a lot of there were reports that people have frame drops on those servers. I don't know why. For some reason, 60 hertz servers are more unstable than 120 hertz. I don't know why.
Well, it's the network demands that are involved with it. You're sending data at a faster rate,
Yeah, and-
so the bandwidth restrictions are going to be
I mean-
needed.
No. But here's the thing: 120 hertz felt more stable than 60 hertz.
Well, yeah.
Well, that could.
y-
I mean,
Hold on. No. 120 hertz. Well, this is as of yesterday. I haven't played the 120 hertz since they first did the first round of testing.
Well, for
so I
me
can't
personally,
honestly say-
120 hertz felt more stable.
Yeah, it
I
was
don't know why.
smooth. It was stable while it lasted, but then eventually it turned.
Yeah, while it
into
lasted. Yeah.
It turned into an unclippable pile of shit. 60 hertz was the same exact way, but after like towards the end of the round, you could kind of start feeling the game starting to slip. Now, whether that's because of hardware or because of engine problems, you can't ignore that fact. This has always been a resounding problem in this game. The longer the matches go, the worse the engine gets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually true.
That
I
is
don't know.
one thing that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be brought out in the open, and it needs to be admitted that very long matches in Battlefield 4 or matches in very high ticker rate matches do not stay stable very long. Period. And that
Like
needs to be
server-
addressed.
and
it needs to be brought out in the open, and it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be taken seriously.
And the reason I think, like, my speculation as to why that would be is because you start off with the map and it's like pristine state, and then after a little bit of the game time, you get all the destruction and maybe Levolution and all that, and then
Yeah.
That's a lot of residual data that's got to
Yeah.
be kept up, and it's a possibility that maybe
Yeah.
RAM
That's
or,
It
or
makes
something
sense,
of
yeah.
virtual memory, some things of that sort. That's where the limitations being hit, and that's why it's getting crazy with the longer matches. It could also be that there's a certain amount of packet data that just stacks up after a certain amount of time from the engine in of itself, or in of the servers in of itself.
Yeah, I mean, for example, the stats engine. Maybe this is why they cut stuff from
Because
the
that's a lot of
battle
things that
logs.
have to need to
I mean,
be kept track of.
yeah.
Look at your stats
Yeah, I
page.
mean,
Look at
it-
everything that is
They're
actually being kept
scrapping-
track
they're-
of
I
in
mean,
a
they're
game.
actually scrapping stuff from the battle log. From your
Well, the slider,
the
profile.
timeline
Yeah,
slider,
maybe-
that's gone.
Maybe they're just doing this so they don't have to track this in the game.
Maybe.
I mean, well,
I mean,
yeah,
you know-
it's a nice luxury to have to be. Oh, yeah, I can see how many flag caps I have. I can see how many this.
Yeah.
But I mean, think of how much live tracking and how much strain that puts on at the
Yeah,
current moment in
exactly.
the game to have to track all
And
that shit.
this data has to be kept for every round and maybe then get sent
And
like, to the
that could be
servers,
what
for
it is.
example.
It's having
Yeah.
to keep track of all that shit.
So
the more the
when
time
a
is,
round
the harder it gets.
takes longer, there is more of this data it has to
Yeah, because I
still
don't
hold
think-
on.
I don't think it updates your like battle log until after the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
all
all
of a sudden
stays
it's, when
local
the
in
match
the
is over.
server until the
Yeah,
match is
so
over.
the server, when they're around the server probably submits
Yeah, that's
that.
why when you crash, when your game client, when you crash client side, you get to keep all of your game data. You keep your KD up to that
Yeah.
point. If the server crashes, like what used to happen all the time when launch happened,
Yeah.
you didn't get to keep that shit, and that was frustrating as fuck.
Yeah.
Depends. It
well,
it
Well, it happened
usually
on
then
consoles
asks
a
whether you
lot.
wanted to use the cloud data or the local data. Like when you have this choice, and you can choose like use the local data. Then I never lost any
Well, no, it used
progress.
to be when I first started playing this game, it was on PlayStation.
Oh
3.
yeah, well I don't
So
know
yeah, there
how
were
it
a
was in the big.
lot of server side crashes, and there were a lot of lost
Yeah.
games, and there were a lot of pissed off people, and I was one of them.
Yeah.
You're talking like 28
It
matches
was-
that were just completely
uh,
lost because the server crashed mid last second of the game because someone set
I
Levolution
just-
off.
I just found it so great that like people stopped using the Shanghai Levolution because it just crashed the game.
Oh, dude.
Or
On
you
the all
used
gen
it to
consoles,
crashed it.
on all gen consoles, if you trigger the Levolution locker, there's a big chance you're gonna crash in the
Yeah, if
middle.
you were, then there was a patch that came out, and then it was if you were around it when it went off, you would crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, when all gen had the worst when it comes to crashes. They had the worst.
It was
You know,
the
I mean-
craziest ones too.
I mean, I'm surprised that games are still like some games are still coming out for old gen consoles.
Not anymore. They're cutting.
Yeah, I'm
There's
pretty much
some-
gonna put. I'm pretty much betting that after come 2016, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 is just gonna. I'm gonna call it now. They're gonna be dead.
I
After
hope
the holiday
so.
season, they're
Yeah.
going to be gone because there's not gonna
They're
be any
they're
sense
already
of it.
dying. They're already dying. I mean,
We've
it's,
had
it's
2
natural.
years now. What, a year and a half since they've been out. We've had one Christmas. This would be the second Christmas. So yeah, everyone's going to assume that,
Yeah.
oh, well, the biggest majority of them are going to have the next gen consoles. And if you don't, sorry, you're going to get left in the dust. It's going to be exactly how it was in the old days. But
I mean, I certainly hope it's that way.
I'm hoping it
because-
is too, because
yeah.
backwards porting needs to fucking stop. I don't care how much money you want to make off of it. Sell the consoles, god damn it. Don't sell just the game. Sell the fucking consoles.
Yeah.
Fuckers. Puts more money
Yeah.
into developers and makes our lives better because PC doesn't sell nearly as well. I'm sorry, I'm going to admit it. Fuck you.
Yeah, but they have to work on like
Two different
PS4, PS3,
versions,
PS,
yeah.
Xbox One, 360.
Yeah,
Like,
there's just too many cons. But anyway, point
that's
is,
less work for the dev. Like, just admit it.
point
Yeah.
is, all gen consoles are being cut right now by every game that is coming out. Even the new Assassin's Creed is not gonna come out on the PS3 or something like that. Other games are not coming out for the PS3 and Xbox
And that's-
360.
That is one
Isn't,
other element that I kind of want to address real quick. The last, I don't think, I think what it is, next gen and PC is going to get one more patch after last gen gets their last patch.
No. All gen Battlefield 4 players, they're still gonna receive regular patches like PC and PS4 and so on. But are we talking about the content or the actual patches? Because they're gonna receive patches like weapon bass, all that crap. They will get that.
Night map.
But
We
when it
know
comes
what
to
the content
content,
patches are.
when it comes to content, yeah, we know there's only gonna be the community map and one night map. That's it, and that's where the content ends. That's
Well,
it.
I meant
done.
like actual development patch support. Cause...
Yeah. The
Yeah.
development is still the patches like the weapon balance, all the fixes, all the bug fixes. It's coming. Yeah, it's still gonna come to LGen because they still pay the money, so they deserve the support the same as everyone else.
Wait, you're talking about the night map.
No, just
No.
patches and fixes.
Just
and
patches,
stuff
just
like that.
patches.
Because night map not gonna be on.
Yeah. I
old
just
gen.
said. I
Just-
just said.
it's just said.
There's one community map and one night map. That's it. That's what the old gen consoles are gonna get. That's it. Done.
And it's because memory and stuff.
Yeah.
like that.
They just hit the limit on. All right. So I think we have to move on because I have no idea how the fuck we talked about the old gen consoles. But anyway. All right. I'm checking the notes quickly. It's spawn protection. I'm just gonna. All right. Okay. Spawn protection. Let's
Yeah,
talk
let's
about
not
spawn
hang
protection.
on this for too much because
Yeah.
there's a reason why it's there, but I understand the
Yeah.
reasons why it's fucking frustrating as hell.
Yeah, and the basic idea now would be that you would disable spawn protection just for squad spawns. So if you spawn on a flag or in the base, you're protected, you know. But if you're like spawning on a friend, on a squad mate, and you can't just like then duplicate yourself into the enemy, and he just can't kill you because like you make a wall of spawn protected enemies.
I have to agree because spawn protection, I understand why it's there,
Yeah.
but it's annoying when you're the guy
The-
that shoots
the
the
thing
enemy
is with that-
and there's like a couple of dudes spawn behind a fucking guy's ass.
Yeah.
The thing is with removing spawn protection on a squad spawn is what about those that have the slower connections that have that excuse me, I can't talk right now. That have that split second longer black screen or have that split second where it takes longer for the
Yeah,
weapon to
but
pull up
I mean,
because they just changed.
it's-
Disabling disabling the squad protection on disabling spawn protection on a squad spawn is this. Yeah, I understand why it's stupid. I understand why there's the want in order to get rid of it, but at the same time, I can see the instant fury and the amount of it of those that are trying to spawn their buddies while they think they're out of cover, and then in that split second they're in that black screen and boom, they're dead. They had no chance to defend themselves, but at the same time, there's
Yeah,
the
but
argument where
you shouldn't spawn on
I'm-
someone who isn't in cover, for example. you
My
know?
suggestion is, my simple suggestion is, if you spawn on the flag, let the
Yeah.
the spawn protection let it be there. If you spawn on the flag, but if you spawn a
Yep.
squad mate, it should be
Yeah.
disabled. If you
That's-
spawn there, you make a risk to spawn there. You
Yeah,
actually make a
because-
risk to die. So
Well,
People are aware when they spawn on a teammate. They like you out a big box with orange message say, like danger there.
they
Yeah, but you're
they're
not
not
allowed
doing
to
well.
spawn during that time frame either. So what are you gonna do if you spawn into that split second just before somebody's about to shoot at your buddy? Now someone's got an easy double kill for no fucking reason whatsoever. But at the same time,
Well,
on the
what
flip
if-
side, now all of a sudden you've spawned in and you've become a fucking shield for somebody who's about to fire on your buddy. So
Well-
yeah, I see both sides of this argument, but at the same time, I don't see where taking away spawn protection on squad is going to fucking cure that. Lower the time on it, maybe, yeah, but completely remove it, I don't think so.
Well,
No.
what if they made it so, because I don't think right now if you spawn on you can shoot right away, can't you?
Pretty
Yeah,
much, with
because
the
what if-
exception of some kinds in
it's what
console when you
size,
change your guns. If you're lagging a little bit, it takes a minute for your
Yeah.
gun to render in
Yeah.
and spawn in, and sometimes that happens on PC too, depending upon what your latency is.
Yeah, I mean I
So-
get that, but what if
And that's what that spawn
During-
protection is supposed to be there in order to. Excuse me, it's supposed to be there in order to help curve. Is those couple of seconds where you're vulnerable because no matter how
Yeah.
you look at it, you're vulnerable there.
Yes, I get that, but what if they made it so that like you couldn't shoot until your spawn protection or your protection was up? That way like
Yeah, well, the
What it
thing
should
is
be is
when
still
you
have protection
shoot,
should
when
be
you
up for
shoot,
as
your
long
spawn
as you're
protection
static.
gets disabled. If
The
you
second you
spawn
start
and
moving-
stand still, you have like I don't know a couple seconds. So
Exactly. As long as
Okay,
you're
but
static,
as
you're
soon-
spawn protected. But the second you start moving or you do anything, you put any kind of button input, then you're disabled. But again, what if you're trying to run because you know somebody all of a sudden shoots at you, clear out of the blue, your gun isn't rendering in, you can't turn around and shoot back. This is
Yeah.
what spawn protection was put there in order to stop, but you have to get rid of the problem that it was put there to curb in the first place before you can get rid of. You see what I mean? You can't
Yeah, I
stop
get
giving
that.
the patient the medicine for the fucking cure. You can't stop giving the patient the medicine while the problem is still there.
yeah,
All,
What if
all
they-
you're doing is just going to exacerbate and make the problem stick out more.
well, right now we have it so that if they're suppressed you can't spawn on your teammate. What if it was like if they were within X meters
Yeah.
of an enemy or something
also
like
be
that?
good.
Because
they're
I
that
think
just-
at,
but-
that's too difficult. That's
I
that's
think
that's
at
kind
but
of
I mean
range-
there's just the problem.
And that's
Like
exploitable as shit,
you're in
too.
the deploy screen and you see that, and you just can't you give your
Yeah.
friend a heads
Yeah.
up like, okay, yeah, well, there is an enemy near you, I can't spawn.
Yeah, picture this real quick. You're in the spawn screen and you're like, oh, well, I can't spawn on you for some reason, so somebody's around you, and exactly what Tornado said. There's a huge exploit to that. You could literally sit in the spawn screen and spot enemies for your buddies. So I don't know what the workaround
mean,
is, but I don't
I,
think...
I have just a simple suggestion. Like me and Pronato, we're saying the same thing. Just enable it when you spawn the flag, but disable when you spawn on a squad mate.
I got something to say about it's not like spawn protection where it's the same topic. When you spawn on a flag, especially on locker, metro, like
Yeah,
small
go
map,
on.
even in big map, sometimes like it's rare. But you spawn in front of the enemy. I saw a video of someone on metro. Like we always know in metro, it's like B flag and A flag are captured by
Yeah, there are certain
Russian
flags that
base.
you know if you're
Always.
spawning on them, you're spawning
But-
into a shitstorm regardless.
Yeah.
Many video you saw like a guy spawn just behind the enemy line. Just like there's 10 guys and he spawned behind them. Like there's I don't know if there's in the game uh where the game like look if I spawn there I want to look around if in like a ratio of I don't know 5 meter if someone's there. So the game don't decide to make me spawn there.
Well,
So-
I mean,
So you have like an
balance
idea you
out where
can
you
choose your own
is-
spawn?
No.
Or you
Just
mean
like-
like
no,
or
your
you mean like the
issue-
game spawns you there?
It's happened a lot. Sometimes, for example, in what is the name of? I mean, I don't remember the name of the map, but I was capturing the flag, a naval strike map, and then I was in the corner. I turned for a second. I was looking someplace,
Yeah.
and then I turned around. One guy spawned in front of me. He shoot me and kill me. It was like you can't really prevent this because the game
Well,
don't
wait,
check
wait,
for this.
with
were you the only
every
one on the
game-
flag? All right, go on.
with every game that has some sort of spawn system, like like TDM style, where it spawns you close to an objective or something like that, you're always going to have the issue of spawning in front of somebody. Or I mean, the game spawn system is not perfect. I mean,
Of course
the best
not.
way. The
Yeah,
best
let's
way,
face it, the only way to really get rid of all these problems is to only let you spawn at your base and or on vehicles.
Yeah,
Period.
that'd be the only way you could really
And
eliminate
think about
it.
how shitty that would
or
be.
or if they did some sort of like paradrop or something like that on objectives.
Yeah, where you're not spawning on the ground, where you're spawning in the air and dropping in, but still. Oh,
I mean-
I can look up in the sky and see where my guys are, where my fucking enemies coming from. Hey, there he is. Oh, that's where he landed. I'm gonna go follow him now.
Yeah.
That kind of just eliminates the whole point of it. I mean, you can't fix this problem. It's just gonna
I
have
mean,
to
you
come to a
can-
point where
you
you're gonna
can
have to
make
admit it can't be fixed. You can make it better, but you can't fix it.
Exactly.
It's kind of hard
Yeah.
to fix this kind of problem.
What
I'm
I-
not gonna lie.
But I don't think
basic
removing
thing-
the spawn protection is part of the fixing the problem. There's got to be a better way in order to make it so that if you change your weapons or something like that, or there's where you can't be either allowed to spawn or there has to be a protection system up until your gun is there and you're allowed and you start registering shots.
Yeah.
Or up until a certain time. Because in that panic situation, you can just... Because I've had it happen, your gun isn't there, you're trying to fire at them, and they don't die, you don't fire anything, but all of a sudden you look down and your ammo counter is equivalent to how many shots you would have fired in that length of time that you've had your trigger pulled. So obviously the gun is firing, but something's not registering.
Yeah, but there's a lack of information. People don't really know. They will think, oh, I'm shooting this guy, but this guy's like he take no damage from my the shot I shot on you. I'm on him.
There's a
You
lot of
don't
things that vary
you
on
don't
why.
understand. You don't understand the spawn protection. You don't even know that exists. So people say, oh, this game is broken. No, there's a spawn protection when the teammate spawn on his friend, but people are
Well,
not aware of this.
I mean, the biggest place that I think people have this issue is Team Deathmatch. And Team Deathmatch,
Oh,
with
Team-
every game that has Team Deathmatch, you're going to have the issue of, like, spawning in front of somebody and then, like, you have spawn protection for a
Yeah,
few
but
seconds.
usually-
Close
and
quarters,
just-
what the
it's-
hell do you expect?
Yeah,
Exactly.
of course. But here's the thing, yeah. It also happens if you're playing in a TDM map that is not designed for 20 plus players. So TDM basically right now in Battlefield 4, it's not designed for more than 20
Well,
players.
I
If
mean,
you have more than
even-
20 players, that's why you're gonna get shitty spawns.
Well, I mean,
There's no way to spawn. It's that simple.
And
the
too much
and the-
around.
Yeah, the game just spawns you anywhere. Anyway, you think, all right, maybe it's gonna spawn you there, but there's still gonna be 2 guys there because the map is too small to accommodate 32 players.
Well, think
or
about
more.
that match that we had the other night in Domination where we were on that boat and how tight and close quartered everyone spawned there and everything.
Dude, all right, Lost Islands Domination, holy fucking shit. Awesome map,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
holy fucking
You-
shit,
you
the big
guys need-
clusterfuck.
You guys need to play Call of Duty 4 Shipment with like 40 plus players.
No.
What?
Okay, yeah, okay.
This is the shit.
Okay.
You can just like go to a spawn point, pull the trigger, and score kills constantly.
Anyway, all
No,
right,
I
so
think
let's
we need
move
to move
on.
on from that. Let's get into something
This
a
is
little
your
bit newer.
topic.
Yeah, the Windows 10 issue here.
Yeah, this is your topic. Go on. Talk
well,
about
since
for
I'm
5
the-
minutes and we can move on to another topic.
Well, as of right now, the multi-display driver, it crashes its ass off when you tab around and when you start up certain games on full screen multiple times. If you put the game
Yeah.
on borderless, it helps a lot, but sometimes it cuts shadow play off. Just got to make sure that you put yourself on desktop capture if you're trying to record. DSR also causes a shit ton of issues. Whatever you do, make sure that you just put yourself at the maximum resolution for your monitor, and don't try to have DSR on either, because that causes crashes left and right. Last I had read, NVIDIA is aware of the fix. They're working on it. There's supposedly a driver workaround to roll back to a certain specific driver version, but I haven't personally tried it because it has been shown to not support multi-display, and I have 3 fucking displays going on here. And
But
I'm
I
just
think-
going to personally say one thing right now, and I have a Windows 10 beta tester in here with me right now. What the fuck? Why is... Really, I love this operating system. I really do. Windows 10, it's really great. It's fucking streamlined. It looks gorgeous. But what the fuck is with the goddamn multi-driver support?
Now, well, it's not just like multi-driver. Like, I only have one display, but I've had the issue of the full screen borderless issue. You have to put it in borderless, otherwise the games just screw up when you try and alt tab. I've had the issue for a long time in Windows 10 because I was like,
How
Got the
long
Windows
has
10.
you been previewing this for? What, a year and a half now?
It's been a
more
long
like
time.
a pretty long time. I mean, I've reported the issue, and I don't know how many other people have reported the issue, but I mean,
Microsoft, well done.
Well,
Well done.
It's NVIDIA too. I mean, they should have fucking known better too. What the shit?
I mean
Okay.
I think
Wait.
it's partly definitely NVIDIA. I mean, another thing I've tried to use the Xbox game DVR that's like built in now when you press like Windows key
that
plus
thing is
G.
fucking garbage.
Just wait until
That
I'm gonna
thing-
get Windows 10. All
When
my build is AMD, so that's gonna be interesting.
well, when I
Maybe it's gonna
started
work
out
out.
with
I
that,
don't know.
I'll say when I started out, I tried the recording with the Xbox DVR thing, and when they first had it out, it worked fine. I like it was good, like just as good as Fraps or something like that, or Shadowplay, basically the same as Shadowplay. And then in more recent builds, it just got progressively worse, and with this issue, it doesn't work at all, because I think you have to have it in full screen mode in order for it to work, but it's just, right now it's just a big cluster mess.
Well, this is my thing right now, and I'm gonna vent for about like 2 seconds. For the love of
What?
fucking God, if this is the last goddamn operating system that Windows is going to put out, and it's going to be so geared for tablets and all this other stuff, then only fucking market it for tablets. Only market it
Well,
for
you
single
see, the
display.
thing is, it's not, Windows 10 was geared for tablets. Or Windows 8 was geared for tablets. This is Windows 10 that's geared for everything. Like they say, it's supposed to be the last operating system you'll need for all your devices. But the other thing I want to touch on is it's going to be the last operating system in name, but it's going to continually receive updates. Like iOS on like iPhone, we're on like what, iOS 8, 9, something.
So it's basically
in here
becoming
right now.
a service.
Well, yeah, it's going to be their
Yes.
it's going to be their
It's-
platform operating system from
Yes.
now on.
It's
It's going to be their
basically-
XP from here on out, pretty much.
It's gonna be called Windows 10, but every, I think, quarterly or if you're like quarterly or twice a year, something like that, you're going to receive an update. And if you sign up, if you're in the preview program, like I am, you'll get more frequent updates to test the new builds. But basically, it's not the end of like Windows.
Well, yeah, of course not.
It's
They're
more of a
not-
transition to Windows as a service.
Yeah, maybe somebody mentioned that it's become a service. I mean, is that a great thing? Probably. I don't know. At least I don't have to spend.
Only until it costs
Well-
yearly for the subscription.
Well, let me ask you this. You see, it's free. It's not going to have subscriptions. But let me ask you this. What if they did something like Battlefield as a service? Like every 6 months you
That-
get like a
That's a
full-
big topic. That's a massive
Yeah, that's a
topic.
whole nother podcast.
You know what? You know what? You know what? Keep that topic.
Well,
You know,
we can
talk
make a
about it
whole
next
other
week.
podcast out of that one where
Yeah, we can actually talk about it
because
for
that-
the
that is-
whole
that-
2 hours
that-
or 3 hours.
that MMO basis, that whole, because that's what that is. That's the MMO business aspect, what you're thinking of right there. I would kind of like to see that applied to Battlefield, but only in certain aspects.
Only,
Well, like
yeah,
I
yeah.
said,
yeah.
we'll make that a whole nother podcast. So
You know what?
stay
Wait, you
tuned,
know what?
Sure
kids.
So
I'm
basically,
gonna take a note of that. Let's talk about that next week. We need
So-
to talk about it. All right, go on.
Brainstorm.
Go on.
be sure to tune in next week.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about.
But at any rate,
Well,
as far as
free-to-play
Windows 10
Battlefield, I
is
guess.
right now,
Yeah,
with the newer
with
drivers
micro-
and everything
with
upgraded, they're working on
microtransactions.
it. It's being worked on. Run your shit
Yeah.
in borderless. That will help right now attune your recording software to suit, and you'll be all grits and gravy. Moving on to CMP versus the Dragon Valley.
All right, wait. Before we end, we're gonna move on. All right, I'm on Windows 8. Sure, I upgrade to Windows 10 right now.
I would say
I-
do it for the DX12 support. That's going to be necessary.
But there's
a
no
little
support
bit.
for now. There's no games that can
Well,
actually support that.
As you want to do it, if you have Windows 8, you can update anytime, like
During the
ever,
whole year.
when
Yeah.
it-
No,
or-
no, not ever.
anytime ever. Yes, anytime ever. If you have Windows 7, you have to do it within a year.
So wait, if I
But
have
But if you have
8
Windows, if you have
No.
Windows 8, yes, if you have Windows 8, you can do it like indefinitely. But if you have
Really?
Windows 7, you get 1 year.
And if you
So
have
an
Windows
upgrade.
I can upgrade
XP,
it.
what the fuck is wrong with you? And why are you using that outdated piece of shit, you fucking bank teller selling motherfucker?
Hey, the American
Stop
government still
selling
uses XP.
outdated ATMs and get with the goddamn times.
Well, actually, the U.S. Navy just like had a big contract with Microsoft to keep supporting XP for them.
I'm done.
Oh,
done.
God.
Guys, we end this. We're gonna. I'm done.
Alright, I'm out! Call pizza in! Pizza! Alright! Where are the hookers? We're done!
Wait, you're actually serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Let me see if I can.
Okay, no. No. Okay,
Yeah,
moving
no,
on.
we're
moving
not
on, moving
done.
on. We were talking about what was it? All right.
The CMP
moving
versus
on.
Dragon Valley, an
Can-
infantry map versus a fucking vehicle map, and everyone's butthurtedness associated with their aforementioned shit.
All right. Here's the thing. So, community map was originally created for the community. So the community had its vote, what kind of map you want to see, what kind of team, and so on. So basically, it was back in the days a team thing. So it's a community thing. Everyone decide like, yeah, we're gonna do that and that and that. It's basically a community thing. Yeah, the community designs the whole map. Yeah. So you might think, yeah, it's gonna be a fine mix of vehicles and infantry and all that stuff. Yeah. But with the release of Dragon with the release of Dragon Valley, there's a map from Battlefield 2, which is really vehicle heavy. DICE kind of changed the idea of the community map. So basically, the community map is not the community map anymore. It's basically an infantry map, and Dragon Valley is a vehicle-oriented map. And
Well-
that was confirmed by David in the game chat we were playing yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
Well,
Couple
speaking
days
of the
ago.
community map project, I just want to say, I think everyone out there should tweet David, #SideBuildCMP statue. Because I want to put a solid gold motherfucking statue in the middle of that fucking map.
Yeah.
With the lead producer of DICE Stockholm and a quote bubble above it that says, "It's magic." Because
No.
that whole map is magic.
No. It's science. It's not magic. It's science.
Well, no.
No, what
Adjacent
it
to
should
that
be-
needs to be a statue of David Serlin, where it's saying with him sipping on a bottle of vodka that says it's science.
Yes.
So that they need to be facing
No, what it has
each
to
other.
do, what it has to be, there has to be like a Levolution where it's just you trigger and then it comes out from the earth, like an earthquake happens and it just
Oh, the temple
pillars
just
up.
explodes and it just reveals those two statues just standing there. And
Yeah.
then there's a plaques.
Oh
there's
my
two plaques
God.
at the bottom that shows it. Come
Why,
on,
why about
Dice
we,
LA,
why about we just
talk to
replace
me.
one of the statues there in the temple right now?
Tweet
to
me
David
right
Serlin?
now. I will set this shit up for you. I will build the statues. I'll do it for you.
Yeah,
I will do it overnight.
Yeah,
You
this-
don't even have to pay me. I'll do it.
There's two statues. So one is for Julian, one is for David, and the
Well-
rest can be James and Greg and everyone
Or
else.
we could just have them all just chilling on the couch, like laughing, having a good time, whatever. Send me a picture. Model it. Put it in the game.
All right, so yeah, basically, community map is becoming an infantry focus map. It's not the community map anymore. Basically, it's an infantry focus map. So this is why they're gonna work on the more infantry
Are
focus
they gonna
game modes.
on a side note? Are they gonna continue to call it the community map project, or are they gonna actually assign an actual name to this map before they
At this
release
point,
it?
at this moment, it shouldn't be called the community map. If you ask me,
I think it's about high time that we actually put a name to it, and I almost want to call it like Jungle Pass, or Jungles Pass. Just I don't know, something stupid.
jungle map.
The
We're
jungle,
gonna call this jungle map.
the jungle
pick
map.
Just pick the most generic name
Yeah.
out there.
Generic
map.
jungle
I
map
mean-
number 275512.
No, just call it jungle map. I mean, how many jungle maps we have in Battlefield 4? None. And
we
it's,
got a DLC look like jungle.
Mowgli's Pass.
you mean Golden Peaks?
Yeah.
No, Mowgli's Pass. Fuck it, call it that. Done.
Anyway, the greenish map.
First, when I saw the first prototype of, like many person told me this, like the first prototype of the community map was looking the layout like Dragon Pass. Like, if you look the layout of the Monet was
Yeah, but
pretty
it's,
similar.
yeah, but it's similar. Not the map still works better than Dragon Pass. Just saying. Just saying. But anyway, it's an infantry focus map. It's not a community map anymore. It's an infantry focus map, and Dragon Valley is the vehicle on the map. So if you want infantry focused map, community map. If you want vehicle heavy map, Dragon Valley. That's how these maps are gonna go.
And I mean the night map too. I mean I think the older consoles will probably get Zevid.
Zawad, or
But-
Seed. I don't know.
And
It's one of
the
them.
night maps are going to be more infantry maps probably, except Gomad I guess is going to be more of a
Yeah,
vehicle
heavy,
map.
yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, this is so next week. There's gonna be an update for the community map. They said Thursday, yeah, Thursday, and they want to do. I know they're gonna do Conquest Mall. They're gonna do Conquest Mall because it's a community map, so it's gonna come for PS3. Either way, Conquest Mall is it's a glorious game mode. But anyway, Conquest Mall, and they want to include. There's a chance they might include some DLC game modes there too, which is probably Chain Link, or even Capture the Flag.
I could see Chain Link on that map, actually.
I actually want to
Yeah.
see Chain Link on that map. I won't lie. But after yesterday's, we played the Capture the Flag on Giants of Karelia. That was awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Capture the Flag is a fun game mode, but
If
I
the
mean
teams are
I
playing, all
Proper.
the teams, yeah, both teams
Yeah,
are playing
yeah.
proper. It's a fun game mode. If not, it's basically
Shit
it's
fest.
Yeah,
No,
but
yeah.
Giant of Karelia is like how they designed this map for Capture the Flag is well designed because you got a lot of cover, like a lot of mounting, and
And a lot
Place
of
to
ground to
hide.
cover.
all the cover was going bits
It's
by
not a
bits, all
flat
because of the
place.
destruction. All the cover
Yeah.
was gone at the end of the game, which was really awesome if you ask me.
We didn't have a choice, man. They were hiding bacon everywhere.
Basically, yeah. But anyway, they're actually actually asked David if, what about including chain link? They're like, yeah, we actually want to do chain link or capture the flag. And I'm like, okay, if it's an infantry focus map, you include chain link. Yes, please. Why not? I mean, holy shit, that could be awesome.
and that's maybe will help to like repopulate, be popular the game mode, like because there's not like
Yeah,
ton of server.
yeah. I can see what you mean. But I really want to see chain link and capture the flag. you know what? Fuck Rush. I don't need Rush. I know there's a lot of people. They're like, oh, we need Rush. Honestly, no, we don't need Rush. Rush is broken.
Blasphemy. Rush. Okay,
But that's my
the
opinion.
reason. What I want at least one of these maps that we're gonna be getting to be a good Rush map because as of right
Dragon
now-
Valley. Dragon Valley.
Dragon
All,
Valley, yeah.
either of the
Yeah,
two,
it better
Dragon
be-
Valley.
Dragon
Yeah.
Valley
Yes.
for Rush. Community
it better
map,
be
no
a good
Rush.
map. I don't know. I
Dude,
think
you
have
can
to have-
start that game mode from the fucking canals and work your way inland, or go from inland and work your way out to the canals. Motherfucker!
This would be actually interesting.
Well, the thing
It
is,
would be
the thing is-
perfect.
Anyway,
Yeah,
all right,
it
go on.
could be, yeah.
Go on.
Talk to me in order to write it. I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It
Go
would
on.
be cool that if Conquest Assault would be like from the
That's from
docks.
Dragon Valley, yeah?
Yeah, Dragon Valley. That Conquest Assault is from the dock side. Like you have to fight all the way up to the airfield, and Rush is the exact opposite way.
Yeah, maybe. But Dragon-
I don't
all right,
think.
wait,
I don't
Jack-
think that would make. I don't know. I just
Well-
think it makes more sense to have them fight inland because like Rush is kind of a story
Yeah, of
mode.
Well, yeah,
course,
storming
of
mode,
course. But I
yeah.
mean, it would be cool that if Conquest Assault comes from the sea, from the port, that
Yeah, it
Rush
should
would
be
be
from-
the other direction. Like,
Yeah.
logically, it should be from the port. Logically.
yeah, of course. But
Well,
I mean,
it would be like
oh no, people will probably then complain again that it's so hard in Rush to like get the first set of
well, imagine this.
MCOMs
What would you rather
because-
have? Your first flag being your first set of MCOMs being you having to come in from the
Yeah,
ocean, or
exactly,
your last set of
yeah.
MCOMs being having to go out to the boat and
Yeah.
sink the fucking boat.
Yeah, I mean, this
I
would
wanna
actually
sink the
also be
boat!
cool. Yeah,
Let
I
me
mean,
sink the boat.
They already have the fucking model. They just have to put in a carrier from Carrier Assault, make
put the
the
MCOMs
the
in,
engine
done.
room open from the beginning,
Now
and
we're
make it like
talking.
Rush. Make it
Now
like
we're
Rush.
talking.
The engine
Now
room.
we're talking.
You have to take out both MCOMs on the
Seriously,
carrier.
Dice,
for
talk to us
sla-
about writing this
Okay,
shit.
so all right,
we
all
are
right.
your
This is
writers.
what you
We're
have to
on
do.
All right,
this.
community map is kind of sorted. It's kind of sorted.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
yeah.
infantry focus game modes. That's fine. Maybe chain link. Maybe capture the flag, domination, and all that crap. All the good infantry stuff. If you're an infantry player, you're in a good future. There's future for you. You can enjoy Battlefield 4 in the future if you're an infantry player. When it comes to vehicles, yeah, we just gave an idea. Conquest Assault, give 2 MCOMs to the carrier. You have the flags to let the attackers
No,
attack.
Just
Let the
rush.
defenders.
Just rush. You go from you start from inland and work your way out. Your objective is to work your way out and sink that fucking carrier.
Or just
This makes sense. Make like a little story.
okay,
Yeah.
or okay, or that way doesn't matter. Or make it maybe 2.
And then
Yeah.
and then have
Maybe-
and then have Conquest Assault being you're the Americans coming in from the carrier, coming in to take the land over. You're coming in from the canal. And fuck
Yeah,
yes,
you have
do
to-
this.
have 2 versions of the of something. I don't know. or
Actually, it,
maybe
it
1
isn't it Russians versus Chinese?
for now.
in
No.
Dragon Valley.
I thought it was
Valley
Dragon
Africa?
Valley. I thought it was going to be U.S. versus China.
Or US versus China?
Well,
Oh.
yeah, even still,
that's-
that
I
makes
kind
sense.
of want Russians though. I kind of want Russians.
I don't know. We are having Russians.
Well, the thing is,
Chinese
the
on
The
thing
team.
is,
Chinese
though-
could be the attacking team, and the Americans could
Yeah.
be the defenders in Rush.
Yeah.
Because it's an American carrier, or if for some reason,
Yeah.
if you want
Well,
to just
the
throw
one
some
thing-
Chinese flags up on the other carrier and say, "Hey, that's a Chinese carrier."
Don't
Whatever,
don't-
I'm not gonna care.
Well, that would be. I think that would be different. Don't like. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, I'm pretty
Chinese
sure in
carriers
Rush,
is-
whenever they have the Americans, they're always on the attacking side.
I know.
yeah.
That would be a good
Correct
change
me
of
if I'm
pace
wrong.
once. Have
yeah,
the Americans
but there
on the
are
defending side.
exclusions. There are
I
exclusions.
mean,
on,
by default.
certain maps.
By
On certain
default.
maps. Yeah.
But
yeah.
like, if I
think
mean, I
there's
get that
one or
you can
two
change
maps,
it. I get you can change it,
and
but I'm
that
pretty
too.
sure that by default the U.S. team is the attacking team,
Yeah.
unless the U.S. team is not on that map.
Yeah, for the most part.
Huh, yeah, that too.
I think there's 1 or 2 instances, unless it was server changed, where the U.S. was the defenders. But that would be a great time in order to see it. Okay, well, this is the Chinese army story of Dragon Valley, how they stormed their asses out of the fucking Chinese and just overrated a carrier. What? Fuck it, why not?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Seriously.
But
Talk
mean-
to us. We'll write it.
I mean, the idea is there. Like, I don't think many people say no. It's not a good idea. Like, to Rush is basically a game on where you're reward because you play together if you make your way to the last MCOM.
Yeah.
Guys,
When you-
wait, guys, we're just throwing you ideas. Guys, listen to us.
No,
we're
we're
just
not
throwing
throwing
you
you
ideas.
ideas. We're throwing you we're throwing
You can do
No,
whatever
the
you want with
ideas.
it.
We are throwing you the ideas.
With
I mean-
apps.
Hey, maybe if you need somebody to write the campaign for Battlefield 5, hey, what's up?
Hit us up.
I'm a scriptwriter, just saying. I'm
We're
a scriptwriter.
totally down for that shit. We'll do all the
Did you saw my
cinematic
cinematic? Did you saw my
section.
cinematic, guys? Did you saw my cinematic? I'm already doing the story for you. Anyway,
He's ready to write.
I can write you a script. I don't give a shit if it's for multiplayer or single player. I will write you a script. I will write you a story. Anyway,
For free.
Well, let's
no,
move
okay,
on.
minimum
Let's-
wage. I will do for minimum wage. I will do for
Let's-
minimum wage.
Less than minimum wage. All right, well, let's
Let's move on to a topic that I saw earlier this week in Reddit that I thought was quite interesting.
Dude, I found that topic and I
Now-
giggle
now
like a girl.
before-
I giggle like a girl. That was so
now,
awesome.
well, I mean, did you not know that they were going to originally have more like Levolution
Yeah.
stuff?
I just learned this.
Yeah.
What, just now?
Because not many people play China Rising.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, all right.
But
let's
anyway,
explain what we're talking about.
well, China Rising originally was going to get like Levolution. I think Dragon Pass was gonna have like some sort of or Dragon Pass, Silk Road, and Elder Range are gonna have some sort of storm, whether it be a
Yeah,
snowstorm or
snowstorm,
sandstorm or
So- snow-
sandstorm on Silk Road. But and so this guy made a post asking, "Hey, can we actually bring back the China Rising Levolution?" And then he goes on to explain it. And he got a response from David, and I'll just read, kind of summarize his response. He says, "This is a misconception. It's true that China Rising originally was going to have Levolution planned, like all the maps, but I guess what happened was they got to a point where the maps took up their limit of like memory and like the memory and performance pools. They
And
got
that-
utilized up to 100%, and they didn't have any more performance or
Meaning
memory.
the maps were too
for them.
goddamn big and too damn flourished out in order for Levolution
this is-
animations
Now,
to be
one thing
implemented.
though, I
mention
want to
thing,
ask.
one thing. This is
One
not.
thing-
Okay, go on.
One thing though I want to ask, and sorry to be the person to say this, but what I want to know is, was it like what limited them? Did like
It's
was
Foliage.
it the
actual
old
memory.
gen consoles?
No, it's
Foliage,
not the old
foliage
gen-
in the
or
old
was
gen
it-
consoles.
It's not the. Here's
Or
the thing.
was
This is
it
what I
a
want to say.
different thing?
It's not the old gen consoles that limit this. This actually was the limit of PC2, because
So this was like their minimum spec, like
PC,
what
yeah.
they put on the box.
Mhm.
They have to abide by that. They can't
Yeah.
go past that.
Yeah, they
so
cannot.
Yeah.
That's
Period.
what it
Point
is.
blank. End of
Yeah.
story. You
That's-
want to
yeah,
know what
that's
my
what I
honest
was
opinion is what did it with the China Rising maps, and this is what do the China Rising maps have more than any other map set out of all the maps? A shit ton of jungle foliage, and that's
Well, that's-
probably what did it in. Was
Yeah.
having to have that much jungle foliage in order for the maps to look natural and for them to look right. That when it came to the Levolution animations and triggers and all that stuff, they were like, "Oh, memory cap, shit."
Well, you
so
see-
either
you see,
the
one
maps look
thing-
like shit and we have Levolution, or the maps look good and we just don't have Levolution. We just have a lot of destructibility everywhere, and I think that's the balance that they took.
And I'm kind of I'm glad they did that. Although I think Levolution would be cool. But one thing I want to say is he says that since he says that copying stuff or having like it's cheaper to duplicate / instantate or instance an already existing object than a unique one. So it's not as demanding if they just copy and paste stuff than if they have a brand new object.
Well, there's also that too. It could have been just that the amount of different things that they had. You've got to there's a reason why there's a lot of recycled access and recycled assets in
Yeah, that's
game
why
development.
you see.
Yeah.
a
That's
lot
why
of
you
same
see a lot of the
buildings
same
and
buildings everywhere. It saves memory. You don't have to save a new mesh. You don't have to save a new set of textures. You don't have to set a
Yeah.
save a new. You don't have to save a new set of light maps and stuff. So I mean, it's not. Yeah, I mean, totally. There's a reason why, but I mean, I don't see why they couldn't have used what was presented with them in order to give it, like, maybe the bomber would have triggered a certain spot and it would have blown the side out of the fucking mountain and the debris would have rained down and they could have had rocks.
Well,
We
talking
got
about
plenty
that.
of fucking rocks lying around.
All right, here's the thing. They want to do the Final Stand DLC. They really want to do the Titan to be flying in the air. It's actually flying in the air. You can actually destroy
Yeah.
it.
I
Goes
would
down,
love
destroys the
to
valley.
have that of all.
They were
things else.
going to. I mean, and
But
you
they
can
ran
see,
out of time.
and you can
Like,
see
not
they
time,
go down.
memory.
They go down and like
Or- and time, yeah,
asks
basically, yeah.
them. Somebody asked them like what things were going to be planned, and David, of course, he says,
Was it
"Well, we should." No, David says we should. He says, "No, they are always they are always food for the next game, and sometimes they happen." But then Mars said at one point excuse me, at one point the Titan on Hangar 21 was flying over the valley instead of being parked in the hangar, and the plan was to be able to shoot it down and have it take out a big chunk of the valley in the process. And they determined that it would take between 6 and 8 months to make it happen, and that you require a rewrite of the entire terrain system, so it got cut before any work was done. And then another DICE dev says they were going to have the train in propaganda derail like Super 8 style and knock down the tower in the middle of the road and exploding in the street.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
and then they were going to also have
for the per market one.
exploding streets in Pearl Market, I think kind of like
This wall.
Dawnbreaker.
I
Pearl
can-
Market
I
was
mean,
300%
or Earthquake?
larger in that version. I mean, they mentioned that. Pearl
But
Yeah.
Market,
but
they
let
meant
me
300
interject in all
like,
of this
This
awesomeness.
would be a conquest large, man.
Let me interject in all of this awesomeness. And I'm going to make a very valid point right now. All of this could have been to pass. It could have been a thing. If it wouldn't have been for two outstanding elephants in the fucking room. The massive amounts of bitching about weapon balance for one, and two, the amount of fixes that had to go into this game from the get-go.
Yeah.
I
go.
guarantee you, I
There
put
you go.
money on the fucking table right now that if it wouldn't be for the amount of bitching about weapon balances, and the amount of, the fixes that needed to be done, so a lot of the coding fixes and the netcode fixes, a lot of that stuff needed to be,
Yeah.
and there were
Well, I
certain
mean,
weapons that
I
had
don't
to be balanced.
Isn't this
I don't think-
that
I don't think
weapon
it's,
balance doesn't need that much time to like.
I don't think it
do.
would be.
Okay,
thing is, though-
how much time it takes for DICE to balance a fucking shotgun?
Well, they gotta
Even
test
though-
it, they gotta make
they
sure that
just
the
go
testers
into
are
the
happy
file.
with it.
Change the pallet count and that's
Yeah,
it.
they said they're gonna do that, but
Well, let
I'll-
me say
Well, I
something.
mean, just wait. The thing is, I mean, some of this stuff though, like in order for the Titan on Hangar 21 to be like crash down the valley and break it up, they'd have to rewrite the terrain system. I mean,
Yeah,
6 to 8
I mean-
months, and that's without like other stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
that's
could
just-
understand
just
they could have
focusing on that.
a lot of this could have been pre-planned. So there's that too. There's a fallacy that's kind of a little exposed there, and not to fault DICE at them or anything, but that's a little bit of pre-planning that wasn't done. Well, how far did you want to originally take this Levolution engine before you wanted to implement it and do it? Did you
Well-
actually pre-plan for a lot of these concepts that you had, or was it that it came time for
Oh.
the DLC pack to come, and now
Here's the
you're
pro-
like,
here's
and
the
now
problem.
we've got to conceive
Yeah.
for it?
Here's the problem with Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 originally was meant to be supported for a year. Then, because Harlan was coming out the next year.
And it's lasted almost 2.5, if
All right,
not
but here's the
almost
thing.
3.
This what happened. Battlefield 4 originally was supposed to be last a year because look at the premium count. It was only a year, and DLC
Yeah.
was coming out every 3 months. That's already a bad sign. So it was only, well, it was basically for a year. Basically, that's all I can say. And because it was only a year, and Harlan was coming out, Harlan got delayed. Battlefield 4 got extended because people were not really happy with about the Harlan thing. EA probably thinking, oh shit, people don't like Harlan, so let's extend Battlefield 4 support and improve the game, the Frostbite engine, and we can copy paste that code to Battlefield 5 or whatever, and people can play Harlan in a couple of months later.
Well, people
It's a-
can play hardly. Yeah, right. I mean, I mean, I've seen people say they've gone back to BF4, and I mean, just look at the player counts. I'm not even gonna go to the website that you see them at because I know for sure Battlefield 4 has far more players than Hardline
Oh yeah,
does right now.
I'm not even gonna check the numbers because I'm actually scared to see how bad the game is performing right now.
Recently, they have like an average of 100,000 people. That's huge. Like for a game like was released in 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
And I mean, that's like, I mean, Hardline isn't even done getting DLC or anything like that
And it's
yet.
pretty
We
much
only
almost
have one DLC.
abandoned.
basically.
Yeah.
I mean, they may as well just give up and put that money right into Battlefield 4 and just say, fuck it.
Here's the
You
thing,
guys
that-
obviously want to play
I really
Battlefield 4
feel
more.
bad for people who bought Hardline.
I don't feel sorry for them. They fucking bought Harlan because okay,
Yeah, but-
I'm happy. I got my free
I can't
copy.
say they
Thank-
knew what they were getting into, but at the same time, it's almost like, come on, are you really surprised by this fucking off-brand?
Still glad I didn't buy
That's really
it.
what it is.
Exactly.
Honestly,
I'm happy. I'm happy that I got my copy for free. Thank you, Blyman, for the price. Thank you. But it's we always said from like even before the beta came out, like
It's
in
not
2014,
worth it.
we always said this game is gonna flop like Titanfall. We said that before the beta
Well,
came
hold
out
on,
because the
Titanfall
science
is
for
fine,
that.
because there's still more
No,
players
no,
on Titanfall
Tit-
than there is on fucking Hardline.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, you get the idea.
surprised me
Nobody,
a bit.
nobody plays Titanfall after a month or two. Nobody played
Yeah,
Titanfall,
yeah.
and this is why we were talking about Hardline. Nobody's gonna play it a month or two
well,
later.
the thing is though, Hardline and Titanfall were abandoned for two completely different reasons, as I understand it. Hardline, just terrible balance, and people just didn't like it all around. Titanfall, it was because there was like people got to the max level, and then there's like nothing else.
And there was problems with the
Yeah.
That's
matchmaking.
what I
or
was
something like that. I don't know.
That's how I understood it. But you know, speaking of new games, there's already increasing talk about Battlefield 5 or Battlefield
Yeah.
2143, 1944, or whatever Battlefield game you want to believe is coming next. Bad Company 3, I don't know.
Well, let's kind of we're gonna save this subject for, like completely for a whole nother podcast because it's getting
Yeah,
a little late right now.
we just
But
I
for
just
right
I
now,
included notes. That's because it's a small
there's-
topic. Small topic.
There's the thought going around about a MMO-esque style going to Battlefield, and in some aspects I would love to see this happen, and in some aspects I don't want to see it, and I opinionate highly on some of my negatives about about some MMO aspects in Battlefield, which it follows along perfectly with my concept of building a base platform game that works, it's balanced, and you're just able to make a shit ton of content over it. Because that's what Battlefield needs. Battlefield needs
Yeah.
a base game that is supported, that lasts for more than 2, 3, 4 years, where we can have content pumped out, and we don't have to worry about these netcode fixes, and we don't have to worry about these weapon balances. And maybe,
Yep.
you know, if we want to add a gun, we can add a gun in this specific theme pack. Or if we want to redo Vietnam again, where we can go back and we can have M16A3s that are balanced against these Vietnam-esque weapons. And we're only balancing against, I don't know, 7 or 8 different guns as opposed to, 50, 60, 70 as in stock Battlefield. Let's
Oh, I
go
think
that
that's
route.
worth it.
Let's take that as the future. That's what I'm
Well,
thinking. But I want to save all
so-
that for the next podcast, so I'll shut up now.
Anyway,
Yeah.
since
Tune in next week, kids, to learn
Yeah.
all about Battlefield
anyway,
MMO
we're gonna
style.
talk about Battlefield 5 or something like that next week. Well, yeah, for next week. But regarding this topic, just really quick, because there was talks about, but who announced it? By EA, some guy, general manager or something like that. I don't know.
Well,
So
we've known for a while that there's going to be another
It's
Battlefield
no
game.
secret. It's
No,
no
yeah,
secret.
we knew. It was already known that Battlefield
Yeah, I
5
mean,
is going to
really-
come out 2016. People
And I mean,
now want-
really, we haven't
If-
learned anything new. I mean,
No, it's
the,
just
it's
the
just
next
official.
the next big thing, it's been official for a while, but I mean, the
Yeah.
next big thing is going to be basically learning what Battlefield it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, well, what he said
What
on it is
kind?
that it's a modern style military shooter. So it's
Yeah, but I mean,
official
it's
that
not-
there will be no World War II Battlefield as
I don't
the
think it's
next
gonna be
title.
But even still, if you
can't see it.
go
I
with
can't
that
see that.
idea of having a base game as, I'll shut up because I don't want to get into this even further because we
Yeah.
need to wrap
Anyway,
up.
Yeah, but I mean,
Anyway,
they're
Currently more working in like branching it off into
Anyway,
sides
the
of
thing is,
Star
Yeah,
Wars.
but they don't need to make it as titles. It needs to be DLC content for a base game. But charge me $40 for it. I'll pay it.
Well, I'll get into this later on, but I think
Anyway,
it should kind of be
anyway.
how DCS is.
next week we're
So-
gonna talk about Battlefield 5 next week. But I'm just gonna say this, just to end the podcast. So we knew this information since 2014. Yeah, 2014. That Battlefield 5 or whatever the next Battlefield is gonna be. Well, it's out Battlefield 5, so it's probably gonna be Battlefield 5. So it's gonna come out in 2016. We know this already for half a year already, since 2014. Now suddenly EA spoke at this more publicly than the last time, because the last time it was a shareholders meeting, so it was a bit close, but people still got the info, but people didn't really catch up with that. But now finally it's more public. People start to make videos, which is obviously people getting like, oh, new Battlefield's announced. When this
Hey, we're
information-
guilty of that.
Yeah, this
Cough,
information is known for ages. So
Hey, we're telling you on YouTube what you can read in the news.
Yeah, but we're
Yeah.
telling you on speculation. We don't know shit.
Yes. Anyway, people are just hyped out about it, and that's it. Anyway, old info, nothing new, beyond old ending, and you stop laughing, motherfucker.
Just cut it off.
Yeah, just gonna,
you'll be caught in the montage.
I was just gonna end the podcast without any warning. They're like, done.
Wait, what? What the fuck just happened?
Anyway, but yeah, Battlefield 5. We're gonna talk about Battlefield 5 next week. For today, we've been longer than an hour. Was longer than an hour.
We're pushing 70, pushing 70 minutes now.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Who gives
we
a
need
shit?
to get
I'm the
a
guy
grip.
that renders this whole thing. It doesn't really matter. You don't give a shit.
Well,
I'm the one that renders. Anyway, we're gonna end the podcast on this glorious note, I guess, and join us next week if you're really interested in Battlefield 5 talk. We're gonna talk about Battlefield 5 really hard. unless there's gonna
Speculate,
be some
ideas, concepts, things we
Oh,
want to see,
yeah.
things we don't want to see.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna
Thing
ask.
must be a thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So,
Good night,
If you
ladies
enjoy the
and
podcast-
gentlemen. We love
yeah,
you.
if you enjoyed the podcast, leave a like, subscribe, and favorite. Yeah, but anyway, so I'm gonna ask my crew members to say goodbye because I'm just gonna end the podcast as soon as they're gonna say bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.